PMX mengumumkan akan mewujudkan sekolah jenis baharu bagi golongan miskin.
Rating saya adalah inilah.
I still cannot understand to this.
Saya nanti saya komen gagal. Jadi benda lain. Hai semua, saya Samuel Isaiah.
Dan saya Tianxing.
Dan selamat datang ke episod The Lesson Plan Podcast yang keempat. Episod ini merupakan episod yang terakhir buat tahun 2023. Tapi sebelum tu kami nak memohon maaf kerana this episode actually took some time.
Dah 2 minggu dah genap kan?
Yes. We try to make an episode once a week, tapi kali ni untuk bulan ni kita lambat sikit, so satu episod je lah bulan ni rasanya.
We also took one holiday lah.
We took a bit of a break, but we're back. And saya rasa episod kali ni kita akan buat sedikit reflection, melihat lanskap pendidikan di negara kita
sepanjang tahun
2023 ini. Kita juga akan reflect sedikit perjalanan kami dalam record Lesson Plan Podcast ini. Speaking of perjalanan Lesson Plan Podcast, can you start with some what have we done this year?
So I pun terkejut in a way because I think every time tahun nak habis macam semua benda berlaku sepintas lalu je. Then our podcast siar raya kami ni bermula lebih kurang bulan 11. Ini ialah episod keempat dan kami dah rakam lebih kurang ada 5 jam kot. 5 to 6 hours of recording. And kami dah cover lebih kurang 10 topik sejak November 2023. I think salah satu perkara yang saya amat bangga dan saya amat terharu ialah dengan kegiatan yang berlaku di IG. Not most of it because of your followers, I'm sure, not mine. Dalam lebih kurang ada 80,000 80k real views that we have produced so far. Ada 240 follower yang baru di account IG Lesson Plan Podcast. YouTube pula lebih kurang 700 views, 67 subscribers so far. So everything is going quite well, I think.
Yeah, we are very grateful. 240 orang followers dekat Instagram. Harap-harap apabila kita keluarkan episod ni hari ni, harap-harap ataupun esok, we'll have reached 300 at least lah. Okay, that'll be quite okay. I think 300 in a month.
Our end of year wish.
End of year wish. 300 dah bulan ni. Terima kasih kerana setia menonton dan juga just to make sure that perbincangan mengenai pendidikan ini tidak tertakluk kepada individu-individu tertentu. I think what we are trying to do with the Lesson Plan Podcast is to make sure that education is a discourse that's enjoyed by everyone and everybody has the opportunity, hopefully through this podcast, to share your views and all of that. Speaking about views, something of a spectacle happened recently with the cabinet reshuffle. Tianxing?
So, ramai yang I think cabinet reshuffle ni dah diutarakan beberapa bulan dah.
Actually, to be honest, I wasn't expecting it to happen this year.
Really?
Saya baca ada banyak spekulasi mengatakan akan berlaku tahun depan lah, lepas raya lah, this and that. It came quite of a surprise, and I think PMX juga dia pandai untuk cover line dah. Dia tak bagi tahu sangat that it's going to happen. And this came, it didn't come as a surprise, but when it happened it caught me off guard lah. And to be honest, the education portfolio, some sectors were actually expecting that there will be a change in the minister, but I wasn't. I wasn't expecting a change at all. But we have a change.
Yes, we do have a change. So, Timbalan Menteri Pendidikan kami telah pun pergi ke dilantik sebagai Timbalan Menteri Kewangan pula. Dan kita ada seorang Timbalan Menteri yang baru dan juga ahli kabinet yang baru. I think this is his first cabinet appointment. Yang berhormat Wong Kar-wai, Member of Parliament from Taiping, daripada DAP yang telah dilantik sebagai Menteri Pendidikan, Timbalan Menteri Pendidikan yang baru. Dan I think like you said, it was a surprise that there was any change at all, because I was hoping that there wouldn't be much changes to education. Tapi sekali lagi kita diberikan dalam dunia pendidikan, kita diberikan seorang Timbalan Menteri yang I think also quite new to education as well. Kalau kita bandingkan dengan pelantikan yang berhormat Lim Hui Ying juga, latar belakang yang lebih kurang sama, doesn't really correspond much to education. That's new towards this whole world. Kalau I did a quick Google search tentang portfolio yang berhormat yang baru ini, dan sebelum ni dia chairman for PAC, Public Accounts Committee. I think second term as a parliamentarian di Dewan di dalam Dewan Rakyat. So yeah, sangat susah untuk saya bahaskan what do I expect, because bagi seorang yang sangat baru dalam dunia pendidikan. What do you think?
I think before we go to Mr. YB Wong Kar-wai, I was also reflecting on, okay, we have an incoming or a new minister in, deputy minister in, but what did the outgoing deputy minister do? I was also trying to look at that, and I find it hard to truly understand what did she achieve, what was she working on.
Yes.
And so there are two key areas that I'd like to focus on before we talk about and congratulate YB Wong Kar-wai. Number one is the visibility of their initiatives, and also how can the general public keep the Ministry of Education accountable. And in this case, the minister and the deputy minister of education accountable. I think there is no such mechanism that exists. That is number one. And there are no clear standards, OKRs or KPIs that is made public about what do the minister and deputy minister of education has set out to do, and on how are we evaluating their performance. And so when the previous deputy minister left, I don't know, did she do a good job? I don't know. Did she do a bad job? I got no idea. And that is not a good indicator at all. We deserve the right to know and to be able to evaluate them on what they're doing. So that's number one. That ability for us, the visibility of what they're doing, and the ability for us to keep these ministers accountable. And specifically speaking about deputy ministers, I think deputy ministers of education, selalunya portfolio dia orang pun tak jelas.
Sangat khusus.
Khusus ataupun okey lah. Kalau khusus, kita nak katakan khusus, mereka in charge of sekolah jenis kebangsaan, SJKCs, dan juga hal ehwal pendidikan untuk golongan bukan bumiputera. Is that all? Or should it only be that way? There's a lot of it. The portfolio pendidikan, Kementerian Pendidikan tu sendiri sangat-sangat besar. Dan saya tak tahu. Would you like to say something about it?
Masa saya bercakap tentang apa yang the previous Timbalan Menteri telah buat, saya pun I can't say much except she visited a lot of SJKCs. Pergi SJKC banyak buat lawatan, and then bagi dana sini sana, mengumumkan bantuan dan sebagainya. But historically that is the appointments that we have seen so far for Timbalan Menteri. Sebelum ni, sebelum kerajaan ini ada dua orang Timbalan Menteri. Timbalan Menteri satu dan kedua, salah satu ialah Dr. Ma dan sebagainya, who I think also similar thing, mengangkat isu-isu pendidikan terutamanya bagi golongan bukan bumiputera. I think for this particular minister, dia memang support saja. There wasn't much sort of outgoing initiatives. Most of that was carried by the minister herself. Kalau ada apa-apa pengumuman tentang dasar yang baru, macam dasar pendidikan digital ke dan sebagainya, memang menteri semua yang mengangkat. So
itulah, saya rasa untuk wrap up, kita punya, of course, congratulations to YB Wong Kar-wai. Saya rasa tugasnya amat berat. Expectations,
there's a lot to learn.
There's a lot to learn. I think he's got to learn on the go as he's doing this.
Yes.
But I think what we are highlighting here is that we need to be able to keep him and the minister accountable. There should be very clear KPIs on what they are going to achieve so that we all know. And for me personally, I really like to see what portfolios they are taking. I see the minister leading a lot of this, but we don't need a deputy minister just to, this is my opinion, of course, there's a lot of things that we need to go into, but we don't need a deputy minister just to look at sekolah jenis kebangsaan and hal ehwal beasiswa untuk golongan bukan bumiputera. Come on. I want to know what's the portfolio.
I mean, we're talking about ministry yang mempunyai peruntukan yang terbesar di dalam kerajaan.
Betul.
Highest number of civil servants. And the future of our kids.
Dan saya rasa last thing lah. Apa added value? Kalau we talk about a reshuffle, a change.
Yes.
If I'm changing someone in my organization and I'm letting someone go and replacing it with somebody else. What is that added value that this deputy minister is bringing to the Ministry of Education? I think we will find out about that soon, but there's no clear-cut evidence of what that would be.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that's a bulan. We'll see what this deputy
We will
minister
see.
wants to do,
We will see.
and hopefully we'll listen more to what his aspirations are for
Right.
education.
With that, I think let's take a break, Tenzing, before we go to our next segment, and we do it in a bit more exciting and fun way. We'll try. I'll see you guys soon.
Selamat kembali kepada Lesson Plan Podcast episod terakhir bagi
Episod
2023.
terakhir. Jadi kali ni kita nak buat wrap up dengan cara game.
Yes, so
Game. So what's the game, Tenzing?
I think for those of you all who are teachers, penggunaan traffic
This
light.
is either fun or a nightmare.
Well, we'll
For
see.
teachers lah.
Because nak sediakan ABM ni bukan senang juga kan.
Bukan, sebab saya rasa pada waktu ABM ni diperkenalkan, ia digunakan secara sangat meluas sampai cikgu dipaksa untuk gunakan benda ni. Tapi itu cerita untuk hari yang lain. Apa kita ada hari ni adalah
ada 3 kad yang ada 3 jenis warna. I think so traffic light ada satu kad yang berwarna hijau, satu yang berwarna kuning dan satu yang berwarna pink.
Ataupun merah lah.
Ataupun
merah.
untuk for red lah.
Okay.
So dalam bilik darjah kita gunakan ni untuk to find out whether our students actually know what we have taught sebagai satu alat untuk buat check for understanding.
Yes,
kan?
it's an assessment lah. So basically what we're doing right now is what we're going to do is we're going to look at Januari sampai Disember 2023 dan kita akan memberi rating kepada ataupun assessment pentaksiran. Pentaksiran untuk beberapa polisi yang prominent.
Yes.
Pada bulan-bulan pada 12 bulan ni lah.
Yeah. Terutamanya for a chance for us to react to things that we didn't cover after we started the podcast.
Betul.
Kan?
Sebab kita start podcast kita
bulan 11.
Bulan 11. So itulah. Okay. Yang pertama, apa dia?
I think pada bulan 1 penubuhan KPPK.
KPPK.
Yes.
KPPK stands for
I also forgot the
pengurus Majlis Penasihat MPPK. My bad.
MPPK,
Not KPPK, but MPPK, Majlis Penasihat Pendidikan Kebangsaan. MPPK ni dipengerusikan oleh bekas DG Pendidikan iaitu Datuk Dr. Amir Sanin. So, kita nak bagi rating mengenai penubuhan MPPK ni. Okay. Tenzing, apa rating you dulu? Kuning?
Kuning.
Okay. No, very safe lah. Saya bagi merah terus.
You bagi merah terus. I bagi chance sikit.
Saya bagi merah. Okay, Tenzing, why kuning and
so masa saya search tentang berita tentang MPPK, saya hanya dapat search untuk bulan 1 je. So sejak penubuhan tu, saya tak nampak apa pun tentang berita yang meliputi kegiatan ataupun laporan-laporan ataupun whatever they have done lah as MPPK.
Rasa sama macam kes Timbalan Menteri tadi lah. Apa yang MPPK buat? Apa yang dia sedang buat? Tak tahu.
Saya rasa saya nampak diorang dekat banyak sesi libat urus, IG, KPM, kadang-kadang dalam gambar akan tengok ahli-ahli MPPK yang akan terlibat dalam sesi libat urus tersebut. Tapi keberhasilan, I haven't seen anything so far yet.
Because the reason saya bagi merah sama juga seperti Tenzing adalah saya tak tahu diorang buat apa sebenarnya, dan saya rasa kita berhak tahu. Dan yang kedua, mereka 8 tokoh pendidikan dilantik untuk mewakili MPPK ni. Dan one of their first KPIs yang diorang set adalah untuk mengurangkan beban tugas guru.
Yes.
And memang ada beberapa langkah yang di-announce by the Ministry of Education and all that, but I don't know on what criteria am I evaluating kekurangan beban tugas guru to see whether this Majlis Penasihat, nama gempak Majlis Penasihat Pendidikan Kebangsaan. That's one. And another reason, so I don't know what they're doing and how effective it is, keberhasilan macam Tenzing kata. Dan yang kedua, yang saya bagi merah ni adalah saya tak nampak ada, bagi saya kurang diversity lah dalam MPPK ini. Kurang diversity daripada ada 8 orang. A lot of them are individuals that have been in the Ministry of Education. So I'm not saying that they're not good enough and all of that. What I think succinctly, what I'm saying is that saya tak nampak idea yang baru, idea yang bertenaga, idea yang bernas, idea that gets me excited, that keeps me at the edge of my seat to see that this is what they're going to do. I'm really excited about this. I don't see
Dia
that.
tak ada penggerak ke dalam. But at least they did a good thing about having, I think there was one teacher, satu guru besar dan sebagainya.
But I like to associate this to the idea of youth.
Yes.
We need young people in Majlis Penasihat Pendidikan Selektif. We need young people. We need ideas that are relevant today, not ideas that were relevant 10, 20 years ago. So that's the reason why, because I don't know what they're doing, and I think there's not much inclusivity or diversity within the lineup of the 8 individuals.
I bagi chance sikit.
Okay lah.
I'll give them another 6 months to a year maybe, and then we'll see.
Okay, what happened in February?
Bulan 2 kita tengok KPM, terutamanya YB Menteri mengumumkan 7 langkah ke arah kesejahteraan guru. So if some of you all remember, sebagai contohnya mengurangkan sekolah tidak.
Okay, dia ada 7 sebenarnya.
Ya, ada 7.
Okay, kita boleh lihat semua. Yang pertama, I'll take the first 3. Memasukkan sebarang bentuk pertandingan, sambutan ataupun tapi bagi rating dululah. Apa rating you?
I'll give green.
You give a green
I
for
give
this
a
one.
green. I give a green.
I'll also give a green.
I give a green.
I'll give a green. I'll give a green for. I be very specific about the areas, the 7 areas yang disebut dalam benda ni, dan urgency yang ditunjukkan untuk melaksanakan benda ni, I think was spot on.
Yes.
So going back to what I was saying earlier on, yang pertama, tak ada pertandingan, sambutan ataupun majlis yang tidak memberi impak besar. I mean, that needs to be a bit defined, but great. I think that's wonderful. The next one, Tianzi?
The next one is mengurangkan kekerapan semakan standard quality pendidikan setahun sekali sahaja.
Okay.
Reducing paperwork.
Okay.
Memberikan masa lebih banyak untuk masukkan rekod kehadiran. Banyak cikgu merungut sistem akan stop at 8 o'clock and then now it's 12 o'clock for pagi, 5 o'clock for afternoon. A bit more leeway lah. Tak payah stress sangat. Terutamanya APDM kadang-kadang hang dan sebagainya kan. Next one is pelantikan pengawas peperiksaan awam. Bukan hanya cikgu saja yang perlu mengorbankan masa cuti dan sebagainya. And so that's a good thing. Next one, mengehadkan penganjuran sambutan Hari Guru kepada peringkat kebangsaan dan sekolah saja. And then do you want to take the last two?
Yeah. RPH, I think shortening the RPH. Saya ingat saya ada buat video mengenai benda ni. Saya bukan nak claim tapi saya memang ada buat video mengenai benda ni pada tahun 2022. I think that were sebelum YB Fadlina menjadi menteri dan sebagainya. To highlight a lot of these areas. And one of it was RPH lah. Untuk mengurangkan beban tugas guru dan sebagainya. Untuk disingkatkan. Dan last kali, maybe this is the part that's a bit vague lah in that sense. Mengukuhkan autonomi guru. But I think all in all, 6 daripada 7 langkah-langkah ni sebenarnya no-brainer sebenarnya. Benda yang boleh dilaksanakan serta-merta, immediate dan impak yang saya rasa significant. I think if you're on the ground, you see a lot of these things, recurring issues. And I'm grateful that the Minister of Education actually took heed of this.
This is her 3rd month. So the message yang dihantar tu, it's something that we definitely welcome. And it sets a good narrative for the year. Yeah.
Okay.
March. Masa buka sekolah, I think satu pengumuman yang baru juga daripada YB Menteri. Tiada kelas minggu pertama tahun persekolahan. So just
rating dulu.
Rating dulu
sebelum kita sembang.
What's your rate? Give yellow.
Oh yeah.
Give yellow.
I'll give a green lah. Just to contradict Tianzi, I'll just give a green. Tiada kelas akademik minggu pertama sesi buka sekolah. Okay, go Tianzi.
So I think masa pengumuman ni dibuat, the idea is untuk minggu pertama kita tak fokus kepada kelas persekolahan yang biasa. Kita fokus untuk menjaga hal kebajikan emosi, mental health,
nilai-nilai jasmani, emosi, jaris lah. Jasmani, emosi, rohani, sosial dan intelek. Okay.
So sekolah perlu menjalankan program to welcome students back into school and untuk waktu transisi itulah selepas cuti panjang dan sebagainya. I actually like the idea. That's the first. But saya rasa 2 things I give it a yellow. Number 1 is pengumuman ni dibuat seminggu sebelum waktu persekolahan mula. So kalau saya ingat, banyak sekolah suddenly panic kena come up with program and things they have to do, and then some of them kena untuk habiskan waktu persekolahan kena buat gotong royong berapa kali dalam seminggu dan sebagainya. So I think it could have been more well framed and execution tu boleh diperhaluskan. And then I think secondly, I rasa 1 minggu tu, as a result, I think 1 week is a bit too long. So kadang-kadang kita kalau kita nak buat this kind of onboarding or welcome back to school, kalau kena buat 1 minggu, dan kesuntukan masa tu, it's very hard to make use of that time meaningfully for 1 week. So maybe 2 days would have been enough, maximum 3 maybe, and a bit of an earlier warning or an earlier, directive would have been better.
I think although I gave it a green, I think this is a fantastic initiative. 1 minggu tak ada fokus pada akademik. I think kita semakin menyedari kepentingan mental health, bahawa kesihatan mental murid, guru adalah it's something that we really need to be intentional about. Bukan sekadar cakap mengenai mental health, tetapi within our planning and all of that. I think that is crucial. Akan tetapi saya rasa ada penambahbaikan, and I hope, and I'm sure they have already gathered enough data and evidences and feedback from teachers on the ground and schools who've been doing it, who did it last year, to understand what's the feasibility like, what can be improved, what is the student engagement like, are students bored? Because I mean, if it's treated like kalau siapa yang pergi sekolah kebangsaan akan tahu pada akhir tahun, selepas peperiksaan akhir tahun, macam freedom main carom lah, main itulah,
kena lawatan belajar sambil belajar lah.
Itu sekolah-sekolah yang power ada lah. Kalau tak, after the end of the year exam, that means you just let loose, right? Let go. But I think a bit more structure into it would help. Perhaps make it more like a step up in that sense, or a retreat. I mean, if you have an organisation or company, you akan gunakan peluang itu untuk membina silaturahim secara lebih produktif. Mengenai mungkin boleh dilihat bagaimana hala tuju kelas itu sendiri, kelas itu boleh reflect apa yang mereka lakukan pada tahun lepas, ataupun chart what they want to learn, areas that they want to explore this year. I think it needs structure in that sense. We shouldn't like let loose. With that sense, I don't think we need a directive from the Ministry of Education, but perhaps professional development. Give teachers the opportunity to learn how to do this better in years to come. If
it's going to happen again next year, right?
But a green for me definitely. Yellow for Tian Sing. But okay lah.
Masuk bulan 4.
Okay.
April. New announcement, permohonan untuk isi 19,000 kekosongan guru dibuka pada hari ini. So
bagi rating, saya bagi kuning lah bagi saya.
Kuning.
Kuning.
I'll use green. Not to contradict you, but I think it's green.
I'll go first this time. Saya rasa memang I'm just not a fan of one-off recruitment. Saya rasa banyak aspek yang perlu dilihat bila kita ambil one-off recruitment ini. Kita ada, kalau contoh kita ambil 19,000 ke 1,000 ke 2,000, the plan for the recruitment, an extensive plan to train and upskill and make sure that these teachers get immersed or get professional development, the intensity, the amount of focus that's given to the recruitment, equal intensity and focus should be given on how are we developing these teachers.
Follow-up too.
The follow-up. How are we ensuring that they are of the highest quality at all times? Because for me, you can get the numbers, but how do you make sure that we are not doing this out of desperation? But hopefully this would end. I think this is the second. This was the first time it happened again, right?
Ni kali kedua.
Kali pertama dilakukan oleh menteri sebelum
YB
ni.
menteri sebelum ni. Yes.
Razi Zidin.
Betul.
Dan dilakukan oleh Fadinah. Ini YB Fadinah kali kedua.
Kali pertama.
Kali pertama untuk dia, tapi kali kedua untuk one of I don't know, tahun-tahun sebelum tu saya tak pasti, tapi ada lagi sekali dilakukan ya, tapi secara lebih.
No, I think this is permulaan tu.
Permulaan.
So end of the year, then we saw them coming in.
Correct. Yes, it does bring in
much needed
reinforcements to school dan sebagainya. Tapi saya rasa, what is the plan to make sure? Kita tak tahu, or it's not communicated well enough. Saya dah cari, tak nampak sangat. So that's why I'm giving it a yellow lah. Because I'm just not a fan of a huge one-off recruitment of 19,000 teachers immediately. Because I think these are numbers, and numbers in that sense that you should be able to predict that by 2023 or 2024 you're going to be 90,000 short. Although kita ada isu seperti guru-guru besar awal dan sebagainya, it should not be as significant as this.
I think I bagi green because anything that can help lessen what is the burden of teachers happening on the ground is something that we should welcome. But of course, I think one-off ni we shouldn't look at it as a long-term solution. It should be a short-term thing. At some point, latihan daripada IPG dan sebagainya sepatutnya selaras dengan keperluan guru dan such that we don't need this kind of one-off big intakes to make sure that our teachers can, our education system functions
Betul.
properly. But all in all, to me, it's a good thing. Better than nothing.
I think it's good, yeah. Definitely. Oh, kita
Okay.
banyak bagi hijau dengan kuning.
Well, there's end of the year to look forward
Okay.
to, so don't worry.
Okay. Next one, we have it in May. Dan saya rasa benda ni banyak di-highlightkan. Hampir 50% pelajar lepasan SPM sesi persekolahan 2021 tidak berminat sambung belajar. Ini bukan inisiatif daripada KPM, tapi it's something that
News
data yang sangat signifikan.
Yes.
Yep. So bagi saya, I think this is definitely a big time rate lah. What to do? 50%. If that it is what it is. 50% pelajar lepasan SPM sesi persekolahan 2021 tidak berminat sambung belajar. What are we teaching our kids? I had this opportunity of sharing at a session, I think after this news came out. And I was asked to describe in a word or two the education in Malaysia. And I said one of the words that I used was relevance. How relevant is our education system? And I would like to associate that to minat untuk sambung belajar ke peringkat tertinggi dengan minat belajar macam tak relevan. There's something that is not, macam kita shock sendiri tau. Kita shock sendiri. Macam hari tu pun kita ada buat di Malaysia Teacher Prize Summit pun sama kan. Saya tanya murid tu on a conference. Saya menjadi host dan saya tanya murid, kalau boleh apa satu perkara yang you nak tambah kepada sistem pendidikan, subjek dan sebagainya. Budak tu cakap, tak nak. Dah cukup dah. Dah banyak sangat dah. Macam kita je shock sendiri, rasa kena tambah ni lah, kena tambah tu lah, make it more dynamic and such. But I think this is a wake-up call to see and for us to evaluate our curriculum. And there's something we're going to talk later on.
Yeah.
And also to see from the students' perspective what is relevant to them, what is going to keep them in school, and most importantly, what is going to get them excited about learning. I think that's the point that we're missing.
Yeah, I think because I think terutamanya kebelakangan ini ada a lot of talk about curriculum 2027, right? And when this news came out, I think a lot of people find that sekolah tu bermaksudnya you stay in the school and then you sit down quietly for 6-7 hours a day and then you just get through your life and then after that you don't know what you're going to do, right? Terutamanya dengan gig economy, I think a lot of students find that, especially after SPM, what is the point of going to study for another 3 years as opposed to terus masuk jadi Grab driver ke or find an apprenticeship ke. So I think the point of education and then the whole idea of giving them that sense of not just the content that you need to learn, but that desire to learn, to improve yourself. What are we trying to achieve with the education system? So red light signal, not from me, but to us, I think. Yeah.
With that said, can we take a short break, Tenzing? And we'll be back looking at June onwards. See you soon, guys.
Selamat kembali kepada Lesson Plan Podcast. So I think tadi kita tengah buat
Kita berhenti kat bulan Mei.
kita buat satu sort of fast track through the year kan, evaluating what has happened so far. Dan kita stop pada bulan 5, so bulan 6. I think an interesting one, KPM teliti semula syarat kemasukan kanak-kanak ke sekolah.
Betul.
Terutamanya ini melibatkan kanak-kanak yang tidak mempunyai dokumentasi, either tak mempunyai sijil kelahiran atau daripada negara luar dan sebagainya, refugees for example and so on. I think an interesting news. So what's your rating?
My rating would be green. Definitely a green. So pindaan ni mengenai satu peraturan pendidikan, penerimaan masuk murid ke sekolah, penyimpanan daftar dan syarat bagi pengekalan murid belajar di sekolah 1998. Pindaan ini akan memastikan akses pendidikan disediakan kepada anak-anak dalam negara ini berpandukan perundangan sedia ada tanpa kompromi terhadap kedaulatan. Ia termasuk kanak-kanak bukan warga negara, berstatus kewarganegaraan belum ditentukan, maksudnya they could be refugees, pelarian dan sebagainya, dan kanak-kanak tanpa dokumen pengenalan diri yang selama ini tidak termasuk. So bagi saya, this is fantastic news. I think kita tidak sepatutnya menghadkan pendidikan kepada kanak-kanak berdasarkan etnisiti, kewarganegaraan mereka dan sebagainya. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's something, looking back, it's a good development. Recently, semalam je saya pergi tengok wayang Abang Adik.
Okay, how was it?
And then I think it shines a light on this issue as well, because dalam that movie, dia highlight atau spotlight on issue, because when we talk about bukan kewarganegaraan, I think bukan sahaja refugee tetapi juga ada dalam golongan warga negara sendiri kerana masalah-masalah tertentu seperti kehilangan ibu bapa, kebakaran dan sebagainya. Kanak-kanak yang sememangnya warga negara Malaysia tak mempunyai dokumen yang diperlukan. And so they get denied access. I think the movie just shows somebody, that life of somebody who is a citizen tapi tak ada IC, and how difficult life can be. Dan terutamanya belakangnya ada satu murid yang membuat satu surat kepada PMX tentang kenapa dia tidak dibenarkan untuk pergi ke darjah 4 dan sebagainya. So I think this is an issue that we have to address, not just for refugees and people who need our support, but also for our own citizens.
Yeah, I think we need to support the conventions of the rights of the child in
Betul.
that sense that mereka adalah kanak-kanak before anything else.
Yes.
Maksudnya kita mengelaskan mereka sebagai children and not as refugee ataupun ataupun sebagai warga negara lain ataupun individu, an alien in the States call it an alien, atau individu yang tidak mempunyai kerakyatan. They are fundamentally children, dan hak untuk setiap kanak-kanak adalah untuk mendapatkan pendidikan. And walaupun kementerian kita, let's say, I hope that this is one of the KPIs lah. If this is one of the KPIs, bahawa mereka akan meneliti, I think we shouldn't just stop as let's just review the policy. Why don't we actually
Do something.
do something about it?
I think later in the year, mereka KPM ada hubungan nak memperluaskan inisiatif SBJK, Sekolah Bimbingan Jalinan Kasih, yang so far hanya satu saja di Kuala Lumpur, tapi mereka nak luaskan kepada saya rasa Sarawak kalau tak silap saya. So I think that's a good development, and we'll see what's going to happen next.
Okay, in June,
Julai.
July. Kes Tiada Guru. First of all, hats off to the Tiada Guru campaign. I think they are doing a fantastic job about highlighting this issue. Isu ni adalah 3 bekas pelajar menang saman guru tak hadir kelas 7 bulan. Green for them winning it.
Green for them winning it.
But
not green for the image that they're discussing.
Red for it happening. In that sense. And I'm still quite surprised that I think as much we work with teachers, right? We work on initiatives that highlights the initiatives of outstanding teachers in Malaysia. But at the same time, kita kena ada, bila kita cakap pasal cikgu-cikgu yang hebat kita mesti ada accountability untuk mengatakan bahawa bila kita ada cikgu yang macam ni, we need to criticize them, bawa ke muka pengadilan. Dan saya respect murid-murid ni. Dan cerita ni, saya cadangkan kepada pendengar ataupun penonton untuk pergi go to Tiada Guru punya Twitter ataupun Facebook atau Instagram untuk tahu perjuangan mereka mengenai cerita bagaimana ni. Di sebalik cikgu yang tak datang 7 bulan ni, ada cikgu lain yang cuba untuk mengutarakan ataupun to bring this to light dan champion the rights for the children. Dan saya rasa kisah cikgu ini it should be done into movie or something, di mana beliau diterima ugutan oleh Jabatan Pendidikan dan sebagainya, disuruh untuk berdiam diri, macam-macam ceritanya, just because dia nak perjuangkan hak murid-murid dia yang tak dapat belajar,
yang tak dapat cikgu masuk kelas.
Kenapa?
Simple as
Why are we going all out to protect someone who is definitely not fit to be a teacher?
And I rasa kes ni berlarutan selama 2 tahun was it? I think
I'm not really sure. I can't remember. Yep.
But definitely I hope perkara ni dapat menjadi iktibar bagi cikgu-cikgu lain. I think if there are injustices that happen, you should not be silenced.
We shouldn't. Yeah, we have very great teachers. We have got rubbish teachers as well.
Might be.
Call them out. All right.
Another one in July.
Okay.
I think this is one of the hallmarks of the year, if anything. I think orang awam banyak nampak evidence bagi perkara ni. Pengumuman peruntukan untuk tandas 70,000 bagi setiap sekolah diumumkan oleh PMX. Green, yellow, or red.
For me, it's a green lah. Definitely a green. Although some would say benda ni trivial, sama macam kes kasut hitam lah dan sebagainya. Tapi saya rasa tandas kat sekolah memang teruk. Memang teruk. Dan saya rasa kita dah terbiasa dengan tandas sekolah yang teruk that we have come to accept. Inilah tandas sekolah.
Yes.
Bau tandas sekolah is something that we have come to accept as bau yang conventional. It is what it is. It's not supposed to smell good.
I masih ingat kawan-kawan yang tak akan pergi ke tandas sekolah dan dengan tahan sampai balik rumah. Baru dia guna tandas kat rumah. And that's sort of the tradition that we sort of live with.
And again lah, I think similar to tujuh benda yang kita cover
tujuh langkah kesejahteraan.
Tujuh langkah kesejahteraan. Benda-benda ni di depan mata tau.
Yeah.
Dan saya rasa mungkin hats off to Fadlina, YB Fadlina and all that. Benda-benda yang depan mata ni dia like fix that, fix this, change that. Okay.
Dan saya rasa akhir tahun memang you nampak evidence banyak sekolah share tentang pembaharuan yang telah dilaksanakan kepada tandas mereka. Ada tandas yang tengok macam hotel and all of that, the cleanliness of it. So memang swift action, urgency ada.
Saya pun rasa bila kita kata mengenai kesejahteraan murid. Dulu ada kempen sekolah sejahtera. That's a previous thing. But I think kesejahteraan murid, it includes this lah. Keselesaan mereka.
Mencipta satu suasana yang kondusif bagi
and toilet is definitely
basic needs.
Basic human needs. Memalukan in some sense bahawa kita kena kata bahawa kita perlukan penyelenggaraan secara nationwide for semua toilet in that sense. But again, saya rasa kementerian ni menunjukkan bahawa they are not afraid to admit that some things are messed up and we need to fix it right away.
So
we are
August
now.
Satu pengumuman yang gempak saya rasa. PMX mengumumkan akan mewujudkan sekolah jenis baharu bagi golongan miskin.
Rating saya adalah inilah.
Baik. I still cannot understand to this.
Nanti saya komen gagal. Jadi benda lain. Tak apa. Let's just leave it as it is lah.
Yeah.
Biar lah.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I think it was a one-off announcement. We've never heard anything about it, and let's hope it keeps that way. Another thing that happened in August, satu tinjauan yang dijalankan satu negara, tinjauan pelaksanaan kurikulum persekolahan 2027. What do you think? I'll give this yellow at best. Red if I'm being very, very realistic.
I'll give it a very strong yellow for me. I think it has never been done before. I think in the sense that what I've been speaking about, that accountability part, I've also been an advocate for better engagement with various stakeholders, and this is a step towards that. Of course, the survey can be improved. I looked at it. There are some areas like and all of that, but I think it is down the right path. The Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia adalah committed untuk mengetahui nombor satu, mereka sedar dan mereka dengar apa yang orang kata bahawa kurikulum kita mungkin tidak sesuai, dan mereka mahu sebanyak mana orang untuk komen mengenai kurikulum ini. It's just part of it lah. This tinjauan ini ataupun survey ini is just part of the overall plan. Mereka ada 60,000 responden, 45% adalah ibu bapa dan penjaga, pendidik 46%, bandar 65%. Yeah, it's quite okay.
It's a good sample.
It is a good sample. It's how it's delivered and all of that, the instruments and all of that. There's something else to comment on later today, but I think it's a good initiative.
I mean, it's a pathway to have more public involvement in education and not centralized within everything. There's a sense of public accountability, that channel. But yeah, implementation. Masa saya tengok untuk isi tinjauan ni, ada beberapa soalan saya cakap, saya rasa I don't have enough knowledge to answer some of the questions, but that's about it lah. So
but again, like definitely think we need to do more of this lah. And also love to see the findings. Is there a report of the findings of this
Not yet,
survey?
kecuali satu infografik yang kecil tentang macam mananya telah membantu KPM untuk merangka 2027 punya kurikulum.
But no findings.
I think they mentioned, let's see,
If-
tentang
maybe-
kurikulum masa hadapan kena ada
there are key points, tapi tak ada laporan yang
tak ada
comprehensive
laporan yang
menunjukkan bahawa these are the recommendations from the survey.
No.
Yeah.
not maybe next year.
Maybe next year,
Maybe
hopefully,
next year.
hopefully. Please have it next year. Really love to read that. Now we're going to September. KPM buka permohonan pelantikan pengawas peperiksaan SPM kepada orang awam. Green, that's a
No-brainer.
green
Tak
for me
payah
as
fikir
well.
banyak-banyak.
For context, kepada orang yang bukan pendidik, untuk menjadi pengawas peperiksaan ni adalah satu tugas yang selalu ditolak kerana the compensation
Tak
berbaloi, lambat dan
Dan
sebagainya.
akan terutamanya dengan cuti kalender baru, dia akan makan cuti cikgu dan sebagainya.
And selalunya yang menjadi mangsa adalah guru-guru yang belum berkahwin, guru-guru yang tak ada anak dan sebagainya, ataupun yang muda.
Kalau jadi ketua pengawas, lagilah banyak kerja yang kena buat.
So I think I think this is a great move. Easy win.
Correct, easy win.
Easy win.
Next thing, I think something, tindakan tegas yang akan dikenakan kepada guru-guru yang gunakan murid untuk jual konten. Big green for me.
For me, it's a yellow. I think, you want to say why first?
I think this is a long,
Correct, I
too
agree.
late. Well, some may say
Finally.
too late. Finally, at least there's something on it. Because saya rasa dengan dunia media sosial, especially generasi yang muda yang memang giat dalam media sosial ini, kami tengok ada banyak this whole line of protecting a child identity. Ada cikgu yang gunakan murid untuk, when we say jual content, maksudnya the teacher gets paid for advertisements.
I don't think so. Really? Okay, go on.
Influencers and so on kan. Dan apakah jenis kandungan yang wajar digunakan? So for example, saya rasa ada kes guru yang ambil PDP, mengambil video. Adakah ini, does this mean that they are not teaching but they are using their time in the classroom to create content instead? That kind of focus. So memang, where is this whole, are you using social media for teaching and learning, or are you using it for your personal goals, right?
Saya bagi yellow, traffic light kuning sebab saya tak nampak pun tindakan tegas yang diambil. Ada je lagi. I think they came up with garis panduan mengenai ini.
2 months later.
Generally. Dan jual konten dan sebagainya is for their own personal benefit lah. Kepentingan peribadi. Tak kira lah untuk dapat follower ke dan sebagainya. Tapi saya nampak masih ada lagi cikgu yang guna benda ni. Dan I think this also encompasses cikgu-cikgu yang rekod diri mereka bercakap, buat lawak dengan murid dan sebagainya. All these things I think you need to, sebab bagi saya, walaupun this is a step in the right direction, saya rasa ia boleh didefinisikan secara lebih teliti, kerana bagi saya apa yang penting adalah quality dan quantity masa instructional.
Yes.
Kalau quality masa instructional itu tidak dikekalkan, cikgu sibuk menggunakannya untuk cakap benda lawak ataupun tunjuk pakai makeup ataupun alat sukan dan sebagainya, it's a complete waste of time. And I don't really like how it depicts the profession.
Betul.
In no other profession would you be allowed to do this.
It's like you're actively using your work time to do another job.
Correct. Another job for whatever reasons, be it financial reasons or your own clout for whatever it is. And I think it needs to be more detailed and tindakan tegas. I think we need to make examples of some teachers lah, unfortunately.
Kalau mereka tidak mematuhi panduan yang telah ditetapkan.
And like a lot of things that I've seen, macam dulu kita cakap mengenai cikgu bijak seni dan sebagainya, saya rasa ibu bapa ataupun community, siapa-siapa, make a big deal out of this.
Yes.
You have to start making a big deal out of this.
Yeah.
Let the ministry feel the heat and let them feel that there is an urgency to take action on this. So, Faisal.
September. Oh, sorry.
So, we are in October now.
No, we are in September.
September?
Yeah, we're going.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are
October.
done. Yep.
Correct. So fast.
Minggu Solidarity Palestine.
Yellow.
Saya rasa kita pun dah
Bahas
benda ni, ataupun ulas perkara ini. Kami rasa it's, yes, for solidarity and all of that. Tetapi garis panduan dia dan sebagainya, tak ada
the lateness of
the
it,
lateness of it and all of that.
tiada garis panduan yang jelas, the extremism thing and all that kan.
Hmm.
Another thing, UPSR tidak akan dikembalikan. I think pengumuman ni is the last nail in the coffin, at least for some time to come.
It was a last nail in the coffin for what we thought, but immediately in November, we had Sarawak actually announcing that they will get their own UPSR like assessment. I think these people need to talk to one another. It's quite obvious that there is no alignment and all of that. I think we have generally mengupas perkara ini dan sebagainya. Tapi saya rasa itulah quite tough lah.
Yeah.
Because if Sarawak can do it, Sabah can do it too. And then other states will probably, I mean, of course, they fall within different boundaries and different regulations and all of that. But if you're going with a centralized education system, then we need something that's centralized, I suppose.
And of course, I think in October we had Belanjawan 2024 also. I think that was quite a big one. But I think do you want to give your quick reaction?
Yeah. Belanjawan 2024, I give yellow for me because there was no surprises. Except for,
no real surprises.
No real surprises.
I think I give it a green.
Okay.
Because maybe I dah conditioned untuk not expect big surprises. I wasn't expecting any big surprises, so I wasn't disappointed. And there were some small things.
It is still one of the biggest, the biggest?
Still biggest.
The biggest allocation.
Sikit pertumbuhan.
Okay. I'm glad that stayed. I think from that perspective to say that our government sees that education is important, we need to invest more in education. How that is being invested and what is the return of that investment is something for us to continually debate on.
Betul.
But at least it's still a priority for them.
Yes. Come to November, dasar yang baru, dasar pendidikan digital diumumkan. We talked about this, I think, in the last episode. So
ini dia dasar pendidikan digital. Okay.
I think seperti mana yang saya cakap tentang Belanjawan 2024, I feel the same about dasar pendidikan digital. Nothing big, nothing huge, nothing tak ada macam visi yang sangat outstanding, very status quo feel. All in all.
Speaking about status quo, let's talk about DLP. I think I'm just going to give my rating and hopefully people figure this out soon. Mine is a red lah. Figure this out. It's been too long. How long are we going to debate this? There's been, I had a conversation with someone the other day, and the individual seemed to think that this is a sensitive issue. It's not. Talk about it. Figure it out. If there are options, what kind of options? Are you basing the allocation based on states, based on how the population is like? Get into it, really get into it. And again, you need to involve everyone.
Yeah.
The MPPK should play a better role in this, I would suppose. You are technically the Majlis Penasihat.
Advisory Council.
But I want to see what is the advice.
Correct.
In that sense.
Because I think DLP, it's a long running, dia berlarutan sepanjang tahun. Every other day, every other month, you see somebody talk about DLP. Dan kementerian saya rasa macam, I tak tahu hala tuju dia. Because suddenly it's like, okay, semua kena ada at least satu kelas untuk yang tak gunakan DLP. Dan kemudian baru-baru ni ada 5 sekolah yang diberikan sepenuhnya DLP. So, kalau you buka that floodgate untuk kecualian dan sebagainya, actually what are you trying to do? Right?
Benda ni berlarutan sama 2 bulan daripada November hingga Disember. Full implementation of DLP in 5 schools. Tiba-tiba ada 5 sekolah yang boleh
diberi pengecualian lah.
Dan sebagainya. Sekolah laksana DLP wajib pastikan murid kuasai bahasa Melayu. Figure it out. I think it's something that we can figure out. Definitely. I think there is a solution for this.
Betul.
But I think what the ministry needs to understand, you're not going to keep everybody happy. Don't try to keep everybody happy in that sense.
Memang tak mungkin.
Something that is fixed. And something that we can all agree to.
Betul.
But I think certain things like if you teach science and math in English, that means you're poor in Malay. Figure that out. That's something that I think we can work on.
But I'm sure we'll talk more about it next year as well. And I think December, what a way to end the year with a slap in your face.
Yes.
PISA 2022.
2022. We promised to do a full-on episode on that.
And we will.
We will. We definitely will.
But quickly, I mean, obvious rate lah. Nothing else to say about this already.
Yep.
It's
great for Malaysia, PISA. that's it. I think we wrapped up. Yeah, let's take a short break. We spoke about 20 minutes already, so let's take a short break before we
Close the episode.
close the episode. Hai guys, selamat kembali ke podcast The Lesson Plan, episod yang keempat. Kita baru siap memberi
Sepintas lalu.
what happened in 2023 dan memberi rating dan justifikasi kepada rating kami. I hope you enjoyed that. Now to wrap up our episode today, I think we were thinking a lot about what we're doing with the podcast dan sebagainya. Would you like to lead us on that?
I think for me, ini satu peluang yang baru, satu pengalaman yang baru. And I think it has made me more aware. Saya rasa selepas saya start perjalanan saya dalam membuat siar raya ini, saya more in tune with the news about education. And I find myself reading a lot more, membaca laporan PISA, dasar pendidikan digital dan sebagainya. Dan saya rasa I really enjoy it. I think it has given me more reasons to be more aware of what happens in education, not just for my work, but I think as a citizen, sebagai seorang rakyat yang merasakan pendidikan ni satu isu yang sangat-sangat penting yang perlulah luas didebatkan oleh khalayak ramai. And it has helped me build a lot of what I want to work in education as well, understanding all of the issues. And people who know me will say I enjoy talking, so this is a natural calling for me. I think moving forward, somebody has told me, ada satu kawan saya yang beritahu saya, dia dah tonton siar raya kami dan dia beritahu saya, you're very neutral. Saya sangat neutral dalam podcast ini. They're like, where is the sarcasm? Where is the cynicism?
Wow.
Where
Let's
is
see more of that 2024.
And then I'm like, I think because benda baru untuk saya. To put myself
Perhaps
out
the
there,
more you're reading into it gives you a different lens that you're not just doing it for the sake of criticizing it. You're trying to understand the logic behind the policy, what's being done not just in Malaysia, regionally and globally as well, and to come up with better and more informed opinions about certain matters. I think previously is like just reading it. It's like you are the consumer of the news.
Yes.
We're just reading it and we're just reacting on it immediately. Now you're probably seeing yourself from
as a person who has to talk about it and sometimes advocate.
Correct, and be accountable for what you speak about.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that journey has been very rewarding and lots to learn. So thank you for the ride. I think.
Yeah. Thanks. It's always been a pleasure. For me, it's quite similar as well. Tensing. Saya dalam kancah pendidikan ni, okay lah, 10-15 years almost already. Sebelum ni saya banyak menulis kat Facebook dan sebagainya. Panjang-panjang saya tulis. I really want to put my opinion out there and all of that. But the learning curve for me this time around is to do it in front of the camera, and being recorded as well. And I think doing it with you and with Bernard, he'll be with us more next year. It's a different sort of experience, but I think it gives me a very different lens. Also, I also enjoy. I think I enjoy reading a lot of the articles, the policies, and all of that. And this gives me a reason to look into it a bit more. Prior to this, it's just like, okay, I'm just going to read it because sometimes you just get so engrossed into work. And like reading these papers, correct? Reading these papers, reading these policies is something that I truly enjoy doing, and I'm glad we found the time to do it and the will to do it, and hopefully we carry on to next year. But it's truly been an enjoyable experience. Sangat seronok. Mengedit video pun dekat sini semua in the house ya, betul tak ada kru lah. Inilah krunya kan. Kita ada Justin dan Bernard juga. So from end to end lah. Doing the research, doing the recording, pilih tempat, buat editing dan sebagainya, create promotional content dan sebagainya. It's been fun.
What do you hope for 2024?
I think for the podcast, I think we will be bringing people on board. I think that's something that we've been talking a lot about. Kita akan memberi menjemput tetamu ataupun pakar pendidikan ataupun individu yang telah berada dalam kancah pendidikan, politician ke dan sebagainya, academics, to get their understanding, perspectives and their view about certain pressing issues. Itu yang kami akan janjikan. Kita akan bawa mereka dalam kereta kita ataupun dalam kereta dia, kita tak tahu. Tapi itu yang satu kita nak buat. Tapi untuk secara peribadi lah, saya rasa beyond the podcast, saya rasa I hope kita dapat menjadikan bicara mengenai pendidikan ini something that's not so serious, something that everybody can understand, everybody can get involved in, and everybody has the opportunity to feel that they belong in the direction of the as much as we feel that we belong in ekonomi negara kita, kesihatan awam negara kita dan sebagainya, pendidikan juga.
Yeah. I think for me it's very much the same. I think to keep doing what we're doing, throw in, I guess the personal goal is to throw in 1 or 2 jokes, I guess, to be on brand for my friends, I guess. And to be more comfortable in doing the podcast. I think for education in general, I think I hope that next year would be, I don't know whether this is the right word, perkataan ni perkataan yang paling sesuai, a more exciting year to see bigger sort of policy changes or reforms, or that, like you said, a sense of urgency in trying to generate change towards better direction. That's what I look forward to, especially with, you know, a new deputy minister, team, satu supporting member yang baru dan sebagainya, langkah-langkah yang akan dijalankan oleh KPM.
I'm hoping for more accountability lah, I would say. Macam kita sebut tadi, kita mahu, we want to play a part, and one of the key roles that we can play as in rakyat Malaysia adalah untuk bagaimana we keep the Ministry of Education on their toes and keep them accountable for what they're doing. So saya nak tengok a more clear and structured KPIs, objectives that they want to achieve, and opportunities for us to keep them in check. Hey, you said this is going to happen, then it's not happening. I'm also hoping for more partnerships. I think this is something that we spoke about in a previous episode as well. Bahawa dengan learning poverty dan sebagainya, isu dia besar, cabaran dia mendalam dan juga sangat kompleks. Dan ini memerlukan kita untuk bekerjasama dan berkolaborasi. So, saya rasa perlu ada lebih banyak peluang secara terbuka menunjukkan bahawa Kementerian Pendidikan berkolaborasi dengan organisasi-organisasi bukan kerajaan dan sebagainya for the benefit of our students and untuk anak-anak Malaysia dan sebagainya. Untuk podcast ni saya rasa, saya rasa kita juga mahukan lebih feedback daripada anda untuk melihat apa, what do you want, apa yang kita perlu cover dan sebagainya. Mungkin kamu mahukan sesuatu yang lebih mendalam, in-depth.
Drop us a message.
Drop us a message, let us know. Kita sekarang ni sedang explore what is the best format for the podcast. Kita banyak cover isu-isu semasa, apa yang berlaku dalam dunia pendidikan dan sebagainya. Dan kita mahu melakukan something that's lebih in-depth seperti PISA, pentaksiran. Kita dah cuba buat mengenai dasar pendidikan digital. So we'll try to do more of that. So let us know what you want. Dan kita akan cuba yang terbaik.
So with that,
thank you so much. Terima kasih kerana menonton dan mendengar dan support Telah podcast.
And a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye guys.
Bye.